Hi, so I just had 3 funerals in the last 3 days, and there were 3 beautiful funerals for 3 great men, and it was inspiring to see the impact that they had on so many lives, and it was reflected in their funeral how people showed up to pay their last respects and honor these great men, and it made me want to think this that man, I want to have a funeral like that when I die, and so what did it take to have an impact on so many people that they would want to take time out of their day and go to your funeral? And so I mean, one of them was at a football stadium. There were so many people, and here's what I thought. The reason that so many people showed up, and the summary basically of what they said when they were saying words about these people was, um, they brought out the best in me. You know, they brought out the best in the people around them, and that's what impacted people's lives. They made them want to be a better person, or 2 of them were football coaches of kids, right? And the kids showed up and the parents showed up. Why? Because those coaches taught those kids they brought out the best in them. They taught them to be champions. They taught them to do something they didn't know. And they taught them to be men. And a big part of that was by their example. And they taught the dads to be better fathers. And it wasn't that they ever wrote a book called How to Be a Better Father or taught a class about how to be a better father. They just lived it. And they brought out the best in people. So my summary or my conclusion would be, well, to have a funeral like that, you should try to bring out the best in people every chance you get. And so, well, how would you do that? And reflecting on these lives and on their example, I would say 4 things. Number 1, see the best in people, right? If you've ever said to someone, or someone has said to you, well, shoot, you'll never amount to nothing. I mean, would you go to that person's funeral? Right? But what if you could see the best in them? And one of my favorite words is namaste. Namaste. And what I found that it means is, I bow to the divine in you. So that basically what it says is, we're all created by the divine creator. And so there's got to be something divine in us. Maybe in some there's more divine than others, but in all of the creation, there's something divine. And that piece that's divine, that's the piece I bow to. I salute and I greet, And what a beautiful way to live, to say, what, something inside of you is great, and number 1, I salute it, and number 2, I'd like to be able to draw it out in some way. So I think if you see the best in people, that will help bring out the best in people. And number 2, believe the best of people. And that's what these people did. Nate worked in kind of the inner city, and I mean, he believed the best of these kids, that they could amount to something, and the dads, that they could be great dads, and they could go to college, and even if maybe they didn't believe it in themselves, and so their belief in those people made those people believe in themselves, and it brought out the best in them. And so I think if we see the best in people, believe the best of people. And then the other thing is expect the best of people. I mean, they had high standards. One of the stories about one of the coaches was, actually there were two stories from the two different coaches about a player that, one was a player that I think he fumbled the ball and the opposing team took it in. So on the next set of downs, the kid was the quarterback. He went out there and threw a touchdown. Because the coach was a little bit disappointed that he fumbled, but he really rejoiced when he threw the touchdown because he expected the best. He expected greatness. And that's what these coaches did for these teams. They expected greatness, and they brought out greatness and excellence and perfection. And so those kids' lives were impacted, and the parents' lives were impacted. If you impact a kid's life, you impact the parents' life too. And I saw that in how the church and the stadium were filled with kids and parents, and that these people impacted their lives. So my dad, if I'd do something dumb as a kid with my friends, he said this to me a few times. He said, I don't expect much from those kids, but I expected better of you. He used to say that to me, and it stuck with me, and in a way it hurt me, but in a way it brought out the best in me. And one of the other coaches, I didn't finish telling that story, that someone said that they scored a touchdown, and one of the guys said, one of the coaches said to Coach Chavez, "What do you think, Coach?" And he just said, "Scrubs." Like the kid could do better, and everybody laughed. So I guess it was not a joke that I was privy to, but apparently it was a joke to many people. And he expected the best of them. That was good, but you could do better, and it motivated those kids to be better, to be more excellent. And so I think, reflecting on this funeral, if you could see the best in people, believe the best of people, and expect the best from people. And one more that these people did was exemplify the best for people. If someone dresses sharp, and they don't have to say nothing, but you see me like, wow, I need to step up my game. And just by being excellent, you bring it out in other people, And I'm sure parents saw these coaches with their kids, and they said, oh, that's what a great dad looks like, without words ever being exchanged, but just the walk. Because these men walk the walk. They talk the talk, but they also walk the walk. And they set a path for other men to follow in. And so with or without their words, they brought out the best in people. So it has inspired me, these funerals, to live a life that in what I do, try to bring out the best in people, and in interactions and the way I carry myself, to try to bring out the best in people, so they show up at my funeral right, and honor me the way that was. I guess that's kind of a selfish thing to think of, but I mean, that was the impact, that was the legacy that these men had on me, in their life and in their death. So just wanted to share that thought.